If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? Welcome to episode 871 now of The Ron and Don Show, and we are live in the Let's Schwab studio.
What is up, Ron and Don Nation?
Hey, coming up on The Ron and Don Show, we're going to talk about legalizing pot and how they're saying that hasn't worked, but I don't know. Seems like it's worked. Yeah. Also, we got to talk about this crazy story. People found a bear cub. They're going to put the bear cub back out in the wild, but the bear cub can't have human-to-human connection or human-to-bear connection. So you're not going to believe what these biologists dressed up as. Well, you probably will believe it, because I'll tell you in a minute, and we'll find out if you believe it or not. Also, we got to find out what Ron is listening to, watching, and reading. I do have an update on the Real Brady Bros. Before we get to that, though, let's get to the news as we see it on the news as we see it. All right, here we go. The news as we see it now. Ron, they said if we legalize pot, it'll create a great tax break. People that need it medically, then they can go out and get it. It will help people. Let's say you hear a lot of ex-NFL football players, even current NBA players, and they're like, hey, pot helps me with stress. It helps me with anxiety, helps me with my pain. And you see a lot of people say, hey, I take this CBD oil. I've tried. Have you ever taken a CBD oil?
I've done the oil, yeah, like a topical.
Yeah. The beef tallow seems to be working for me, but I don't want to go into that now because it's another story for another day. We talked about it on episode 870, an update on the beef tallow. But I've tried the CBD hoping that, especially when I trail run and all that, it'd help my knees feel better, or sometimes my Achilles get sore. And I've been open to that really helping, but it hasn't helped. And then I heard...
Did it help with sleep, though?
What's
Didn't
that?
you take it for a while and got better sleep?
I did, and I thought I was sleeping great. And then you go out, and you get a Garmin watch, and then the Garmin watch tracks your sleep, and you find out you think you're sleeping great, but you're not. Because what it does is it limits your REM sleep. And they say in order to have longevity... You need REM sleep.
You need a Garmin watch.
In order to wake up and feel refreshed and not sluggish, you need REM sleep. REM sleep comes toward the end of...
So the CBD did not... You felt like you fell asleep faster, but the quality of sleep was less?
Well, no, because I got the CBD and then the THC mixed in. I felt high out of my mind is what I felt.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh my God, how long is this going to go on?
Because you recommended it to me one day. Oh, you got to try one for sleep. And so there's a pot shop down the street from me, and I went in and bought the one for sleep, and it didn't seem... I didn't like the feeling.
We'll try some beef tallow.
Yeah, I will try
beef
some
tallow can
for
help
sleep.
it.
It's a cure-all.
Beef tallow helps with sleep. Yeah. So anyway, and here's the interesting thing about legalizing pot is it was supposed to create this great tax base. Supposedly, the black market pot was going to go away, which it hasn't at all, right? And then a lot of people that went in the pot business that thought they're going to make all this money. My friend Dave is in the pot business. All it's done is people here in Washington State, if you grow it, you can't sell it. If you sell it, you can't grow it, right? The sellers have to sell it from their labs or wherever they're growing it to the pot stores. And then all we see is people breaking into the pot stores all the time trying to take the money.
Because of the feds wouldn't allow the cash.
Yeah, so then people at the pot stores went, you know what, I'm just going to take this money home because you can't put it in a bank somewhere. I'm going to take it home and hide in my house. You can go online... Because legally, whoever owns the pot stores and does all the growing, they have to list who they are online. And so what the bad guys do, the robbers, if you will, they'll find out who's growing that stuff or who owns those stores, and they break into their homes all the time. Dave's house has been broken into 3 times. Nobody had ever broken into his house before, and it's because people are looking for pot money. So, and it also seems like more people now are using it maybe than ever before, and... Is that a gateway drug to other things? Because cops now, State Patrol, they're figuring out how to pull you over, not just with a DUI, but also they're figuring out ways. They have eye recognition experts to also figure out when you're high. And I think sometimes people think I can get high and drive around. Be careful, because the coppers are coming for your arm.
So I think about this in a couple different ways. What was the goal of legalizing marijuana? For me, I'm not a marijuana smoker, but the main motivation for me was the injustice that was done to so many people that got a third strike and were given life sentences. It was used as a tool to incarcerate black and brown populations overwhelmingly. So like when you looked at the arrest rates, the prison sentences for people that were smoking pot, that was my main goal. It's like, that seems really unfair, seems very unjust. And so if this is a way to stop that, then I thought that the legalization was worth it. Now, how do we implement this and the implementation and the sale? That has clearly been bungled. And there's so much regulation that went over the top of this. You said you know a guy that's in the business. I also, when I was fixing up my tiny house, I kept it in a lot that was owned by a guy that does the processing. The amount of regulation and stuff that he had to go through to just run this business was astronomical, and so therefore the cost went up.
Yep.
And so now when you talk about the black market, if I go to the store down the street, it's very expensive.
Yep.
And also the potency has gone way up. So I think there are wrinkles that need to be ironed out.
Maybe
obviously.
I should try smoking pot.
Maybe you should.
Potency's way up.
So the potency's way up. I think the rollout for the retail market was not done well. But if it has stopped or slowed down the incarceration rate and the severity of penalties that people were getting. We used to constantly get cases when we were on terrestrial radio where someone was a driver in a marijuana deal that was in their 20s that got a third strike, and because they weren't dealing the drugs, they weren't handling the drugs, they were simply driving away from this deal, that they would get a life sentence for something like that. It was very lopsided, and so to me the net positive is that. And do we need to do better as a society in the implementation of the retail side? I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, and this is where I thought presidents on both sides of the aisle did a good job of stepping forward and saying, look, there's a lot of black and brown people around America that are rotting in prisons because of pot. And so we need to take the power of clemency here, and we need to let them out of prison. We need to let them out of jail.
Yes.
We need to give them their lives back. So I agree with that. And I tell you where I don't appreciate what the former president did is when he went in and pardoned his family, right? He went in and pardoned his kid, he pardoned his family. He said he wouldn't do that, and then he did that. And now we have a current president that the other day, and instead of finding the kid in is he in a Venezuelan prison? The gentleman that was sent there that was scooped up by ICE?
I think that's right, by Venezuela.
Yeah. And they're saying, well, we can't get him back. And if we did get him back, we'd just deport him again. At the same time, two reality stars that were married that didn't pay taxes on millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they both, their husband and wife team, I think they're called the Crystals or the Christies or something. The daughter was online the other day complaining about her parents being in the penitentiary. And so the current president decided, well, you know what? Reality stars, I'm gonna, with the power of the pen, I'm gonna let them out. And they said the reason why he feels emboldened to do that, and he's letting out, like there was a police chief the other day that did some horrible things, and so we're gonna let, and a lot of that clemency was for the idea of helping people that were incarcerated and they weren't supposed to be, or they were incarcerated wrongly because
the penalty was too severe, that kind of thing.
And especially because of what Richard Nixon started to do and then Nancy Reagan with drugs in this country. And now it's become we're letting reality television stars out of jail that were supposed to be in for decades because they bilked the United States government. First of all, they stole a bunch of money, and then the money that they stole, they didn't pay taxes on. So that went before a court. Those people should be in prison. And you know what? Probably Hunter Biden should be in prison as well. So I think we have these two powerful men that started pardoning the wrong people, and hopefully we'll get back on track. See you on the other side of this. Hey, you guys, what's going on? It's Ron and Don for our title sponsor, Les Schwab. I just bought some Vox wheels, Ron. I don't know if you ever heard of Vox wheels. They are so cool. In fact, I just put them on my camper van. And guess what? You guys can buy them too. In fact, now through July 5th, you can save $80 instantly. How quick is instantly? It's instant. That's pretty fast. On select sets of Vox wheels exclusively and only at Les Schwab. They're known for their sleek designs, their old world craftsmanship. In fact, Vox wheels deliver stand up and stand out. Yeah, they look and they're long lasting. They have amazing, amazing performance. Whether you're giving your ride a fresh new look or you're swapping out old wheels like I did, don't forget Vox wheels. They're built to last and made to impress.
Yeah, this is a limited time event only at Les Schwab Tires, so don't miss your chance to save while supplies last. Just another way you get more from less. Stop by your neighborhood Les Schwab or learn more at leschwab.com. That's leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com sale for details.
Today's show is made possible by your friends Ron and Don. When you're ready to sit down and strategize about your real estate journey, schedule your time with the guys at ronanddonsitdown.com.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. More news as we see it now. Have you ever seen a bear in the woods?
Yeah, I've seen a bear in my property when I lived in Maple Valley.
Were you there at the time?
Yeah, I was walking the dogs. A bear with two cubs. I was freaking out.
So instead of freaking out, you're supposed to have a plan. What was your plan? You have dogs, and
my plan was
you have very aggressive dogs, and a lot of times bears, they shy away from aggressive dogs.
They weren't aggressive. I had one dog, the bigger dog that you think would be the fighter, Lulu.
Yeah.
She cowered and ran behind my leg.
Come on, Lulu.
And then Gertie, the smaller dog, went off across this field. It was a brown, but now it's a brown bear. Probably a black bear. It was a smaller bear.
Probably a black bear.
Like a 300 or so pounder.
Yeah.
And the two cubs and took off like a rocket for these bears. And you're right, the bears retreated.
Yeah.
And I tried to get the dog back. She was so proud of herself. And then at my tiny house on the motion cam, I had a black bear just walk by the deck like he owned the place.
But because he does own the place, you're not there.
Right. I mean, it is.
What do you mean? Like he owns the place? He does. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You're sitting in your place.
Get off my lawn!
You're looking. Can you talk through the camera?
I can.
Oh, you can.
I can tell him to get off my lawn.
Did you say anything to the bear?
I did not. I was
you don't
like,
have
no!
You don't have a lawn.
Well, get off my
Have you ever
property.
seen a bear up there though, like when you're hiking around or when you're like in the wild?
How many bears do I need to see?
Well, without dogs.
Not without a dog.
What would you do if you saw, let's say our friend Kanan and his daughter Mabel, who's the age of my son Gunnar, we're planning on coming up to your place, tiny house. We first have to get invited, and then we're gonna do that hike up to the lake there, right? Have you hiked up to the lake?
I have hiked up to the lake.
There's a possibility of seeing a bear going up the lake, right?
I have bear spray.
Yeah, I was online looking for bear spray last night after I saw this story.
I have a can of bear spray.
Do you carry it with you? You're supposed to carry it on your belt. I've never seen you with a can of bear spray.
If I'm going hiking in the woods, I do.
I hiked with you in the woods up there. You didn't have bear spray on.
This is before I bought the bear spray. Is this like an interrogation?
When did you get the bear spray?
After the bear showed up on the camera.
I started watching all these bear videos online. I am now scared of bears, and so I was online last night. I bought a 2-pack of bear spray.
I have a bear pack.
And then
of bear
I had
spray.
the belt that you wear with the bear spray.
Did you get the little one or the big one?
I got the big one.
I got the huge one.
But then I was looking at the belt, and I'm like, I'm gonna look like a total douchebag bear spray person that's scared of bears when I'm out in the woods.
You are scared of bears.
The bear's going to see that and know that, and he's going to come right after me and chomp on me. And they say you can't have the bear spray, the bear spray can go off easily, but then people tape it. So then I'm watching all these pictures online of people's final moments before they get devoured by the bear, and they're up in a tree and they're trying to get the tape off and they can't, and the bear kills them.
Have you ever
So you
seen-
cannot tape it. You have to have it on your belt, and you have to practice drawing it just like little Joe did in the Bonanza when Hoss wasn't there to bail him out, and Paul sent him into town to get some sugar and some bacon, and then he'd get in a fight with Leroy from next door because they had a few too many pops. You got to be able to draw that bear spray and spray it.
Have you ever seen the movie Grizzly Man?
Yes.
Oh my God. If people haven't seen this, it's a Werner Herzog movie.
Yes.
It's a documentary about a guy that goes to Alaska and he believes that he has a special connection with brown bears.
He did for 20
Grizzly
years.
bears. And so he goes out there with no bear spray,
With his
no
girlfriend.
belt, and he lives amongst the bears. He names all the bears. He befriends the bears. And let's just say, I'm not going to give away the ending of the
They
movie.
ate him.
Just give away the end of the movie.
That movie's been out 10 years.
You got
Everybody
me a
knows he got
spoiler
ate.
alert.
Everybody knows he got ate. Here's what you don't know. What happened to his girlfriend? Now to it. She got eaten too. Usually with
it's
the
a
bear,
great movie.
No, usually with the
Grizzly Man.
What's weird though is like the black and the brown bear. They don't want to eat you. They just want to eat the stuff that you have. And so,
And grizzly bears don't necessarily want to eat you
Yes,
either.
they do.
They want to kill you.
they want to kill you.
Polar bears are the only bears
No,
that
you don't know your bears.
we have.
I read
two
all about the
clients.
bears last night because I'm buying bear spray, and I'm like, what kind of bear spray?
Polar
What kind of
bears
belt do I
are
get?
the only bear that hunts human beings.
You're
Grizzly
wrong.
bears do not hunt you. They will kill you, but they're not actively hunting you.
Then why do
Polar
they
bears
find
will.
grizzly bears, and then the grizzly bears will bury the body, and then they come back and a leg and an arm's gone? Where did the leg and arm go, Ron?
Varmints.
No, and then the polar bear.
Polar bear is hunting you.
We have a friend, Tom, who's one of our clients. He's a biologist. He studies polar bears. Remember what he said about polar bears?
I just said what he said about polar
What'd he
bears.
say?
That they hunt human beings.
That's not what he said.
And that they can smell you for 2 miles.
That's not what he said.
Both of those things he said.
He said 5 miles. He said even if you have a shotgun, by the time the bear gets close enough and you fire your shotgun, it's too late because their skull is so thick.
Yeah, they won't get through.
You'll never. If you kill the bear, it may bleed out like 6 hours later. It's already eaten you.
Yep.
So the bear wants more than a Coke
So
and a smile.
let's not go to Alaska.
No. So now let me take you to California. The La Padre National Forest. There's a little 3-pound bear that's out in the forest doing whatever a 3-pound bear does. What do you think?
small bear.
What do you think a 3-pound bear does out in the forest?
Not much because
Probably
it's
not
tiny.
much.
It's tiny.
Yeah. So anyway, some campers find the bear, and the campers do what campers should do when you find a bear. What is that?
Leave it.
Leave the bear. So that's what they did, and they called the local biologists from the state of California. So they sent out these biologists, and they said, hey, everybody stand back. We're going to watch the bear. So they're watching this bear. It's a 3-pound bear. Guess what happens?
It gets bigger.
It's now a 2-pound bear. Smaller.
People
Do you read
always,
any of the stories that I send
people
you?
always have to intervene.
So the bear is now in trouble, and they're like, we're going to have to intervene, but we're Californians. We don't want to put that bear in a zoo.
California.
California. So what we want to
Hey,
do...
Bear, what are you doing here?
So this is what they do. They're like, we're going to have to be his family. So they... Have you seen the pictures of what they did?
I believe they dressed up as bears.
They dressed up as bears, but the bear suits are... It's kind of like a bear head, and then they wear kind of... It's like a bear cape.
Little baby bears aren't that
It
sophisticated.
doesn't look like they really committed to being a bear to me. It's kind of a shiznit looking bear. To me, I looked at it and I was disappointed. If I'm that baby bear, I'm like, I'm not buying this. When I'm one and they want to release me into the wild, I'm probably going to maul one of these biologists that I know is a human that's trying to act like my mommy and daddy right now. That's the idea.
You know why
so
you
they're
take-
taking care of the bear, they're feeding the bear, they're playing with the bear. The bear has gained like 30 pounds. They give it a name. They're teaching him to forage and all the other stuff the baby bears need. And then they say they're taking him out to that exact same place, and they're going to leave him alone in the woods, and he should be able to thrive because they put on these bear heads that they found on the internet, and then they wear these bear
They're
capes.
furries.
They don't look like bear. That's what they look like.
Look like furries.
They look like furry men that you see And yeah, at the Comic-Con. That's what they look
Here's the
like.
thing where you could not do this job. That bear suit stinks like bear.
Well, it'd be very hot. Yeah, they put bear scent on
They
it.
put bear,
That's right.
all kinds of bear fluids and scents on there.
What do you mean all kinds of bear fluids?
Like they got pee on there.
That wasn't in the story.
I know
You're
about
making
these.
that up.
I know
It's not
this.
in the story.
I know this. Why do you?
That's embellishing.
You think they launder the bear suit and it
God.
smells like Downy?
That's why you're not on News Talk Radio anymore, because you
made stuff
you
up.
used to be a voice that could be trusted, and these kind of embellishments are a damn.
I made stuff up for 25 years on the radio. That's what I did.
Anyway, do you think this bear, is it a good idea to release the bear in the wild?
Sure.
Or would you just throw this bear into a zoo?
No, I'm anti-zoo.
You are.
Anti-zoo. Throw it back in the wild and let the strongest bear will win.
Would you just go up to the zoo here on 85th? Would you just release all the animals since you're anti-zoo?
No, the ones that are in there, I think you are responsible for, but don't bring in new animals.
Well, this bear is now in captivity, and there's been no other stories of people dressing up like bears and saving a bear. It's never
I think
happened.
we should give it a chance.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to know, there's a difference between Smokey Bear and Smokey the Bear. Ron and I used to work at a kids camp in a place called Capitan, New Mexico. If you want, which one is it? Is it Smokey Bear or Smokey the
It's
Bear?
Smokey Bear.
If you want to see Smokey Bear, he died there. He's the original bear that was found in Lincoln National Forest, where Billy the Kid used to
Clinging
ride.
to a tree.
Clinging
on a
to
forest fire.
clinging to a tree. Now he's buried. Is it hole 9 that he's buried at the putt-putt?
I think it's one. I don't remember which hole.
Capitan doesn't have a lot of people coming by. It's a town of about 7 people. And so to kind of drum up business, they buried Smokey Bear, and they will let you know it is not Smokey the Bear.
You don't say Easter the Bunny.
Smokey Bear.
Santa the Claus.
And he's right past the windmill at the putt-putt, and it's kind of weird because the windmill's sitting there, and then his body, I guess, is buried underneath.
They had a really good taco shop in Capitan.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, more in a minute, you guys.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. He's Ron, I'm Don, in case you're wondering. Don't forget you can watch us now on YouTube. Let's talk about what we're listening to, what we're watching, what we're reading, or I'm going to throw a new category in. Maybe there's an upcoming show that you're going to go to or an upcoming trip that you're excited about. So, Ron, what are you listening to, watching, reading, or a place that maybe you're traveling to?
So I have two, and you have to promise me preemptively
Not to interrupt.
that you're not going to make fun of this thing that I'm trying right now.
I would never make fun of you, Ron.
Yeah, right. And so I'm trying beef tallow on my face.
Oh,
Thanks, Matt, off the mic. So sometimes when you make a transaction online, it'll say, hey, how'd you like some magazines? Just randomly, like you bought a pair of socks and now they're throwing this offer at you to get a magazine.
It's never happened to me.
It's never happened to you?
No.
So if you buy a gallon tub of beef tallow on an online retailer, you will get. So I said, I used to love magazines.
Do they make magazines?
There's still magazines out there. So what I'm reading right now is I have subscribed. I took one of these offers and I subscribed to some magazines
For a penny.
for whatever, like the introductory rate, and then after a year, it's full freight. And so I got Sports Illustrated. I got.
They still print Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, I got, but it's not every week. It used to be every week. So you get, it's like
every
once,
year.
It's one, every decade.
Once a year.
you get a Sports Illustrated.
The decade.
so
That's okay.
I got Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
I got Bon Appetit. I got Whiskey Advocate. And so there is something about, and I don't read them cover to cover, but I used to get lots of magazines, and you get them in the mail, and there's a couple things about it that I like. Number one is it's the same edition for everybody. Because like you and I were just talking, your news feed's different than my news feed. Your algorithm's different than my algorithm. And so we can both be on Instagram or both be on Facebook. Our experiences are entirely different. Even the ads that are served up to you, everything is different because of this algorithm and the way that the algorithm is serving up content to each of us. When I get that magazine, I know that that's the magazine, and these professional magazine writers and editors, this is how they wanted to present it. And so this is the order in which the stories are in, the writing, the advertisement, the placement, the art direction, all of that. Everybody that got this magazine is getting the same experience that I got. And it's kind of... That's interesting to me. And now in this digital world, I'm like, this is cool because I know that everybody's doing the same thing.
Does that feel like a throwback to you? And is there comfort in a throwback?
I liked it. There is comfort in it, and there is something that I know that it's curated in a way where the most important thing is up front. Like when I get a Wired magazine or I got a Fortune magazine, a physical magazine. If I go online, everything is jumbled in the sense of like, it's not in the order that they wanted it in the order. It's not, they're serving up different things to me than the print edition. So
you like still looking at a newspaper and where editors got together and decided this is what's supposed to be on the front page. This is what should lead the sports section.
I think that if you've ever sat in an editor's meeting, it's important like to watch people debate the importance of something and where it goes in the paper. So I've gotten several magazine subscriptions. I'm enjoying getting the physical magazine, looking through it. Like with the case of the Whiskey Advocate thing, they do these ratings and you can read what the experts rated and take a picture. And then it's in recipes on Bon Appetit where you can try, or a town that they go to. And then on your trip that I'm anticipating, I just booked a ticket. My girlfriend's family is from northern Spain, and so we've been dating a year. I have not met her family, and so we are traveling to Spain to meet her family, which I'm excited for. I love Spain. I've never been to this part of Spain, and so Are
you going to meet them in a formal way, informal way?
I don't know how the formality is, but she did warn me that her family's very loud. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't really speak great Spanish anyway, so I'll just be enjoying the time.
Plus, you sit next to me all the time, so you're used to loud.
I'm used to loud. That is correct.
That's right.
What about you?
Have you been working on your Spanish with her?
A little bit. I had a Spanish coach for a while.
What happened?
She got a job, a real job, so she stopped coaching. Yeah. And so I bought a Spanish book. I have too many hobbies. I can't.
What are a couple phrases you like that you're going to use on her parents when you get there?
I'm not going to reveal that to you. Hola, me llamo.
No, I'm being serious.
I haven't worked out specific family phrases.
You might want to work on that.
I'm going to.
Let's do that next week. You and I.
Okay. I'll bring my Spanish book.
You know what? Bring your Spanish book. Give me some lines. Give Matt off the mic some lines, and we'll help you out.
I will.
I'm nervous for you.
I'm nervous as well.
Because you could blow this whole damn thing apart and they may hate you. And you know how it is in that culture. When you're out, pal.
Yep.
So you may go down there and you may just be flying home on your own.
That is highly possible.
Mr. Uno.
Can't you just turn your phone on Translate and set it next to you and you can at least know what they're all talking about?
You probably could. There's some headphones that I got that will translate it in your ear. So I'm working on those.
Do they speak English?
Many of them do. I don't think everybody does, but a lot of them do.
Okay. What gift are you going to bring them?
Man, I haven't planned all this stuff yet.
You make stuff. Why don't you make them something?
I will make something.
Usually people you like, you make something.
I will make them something.
So why don't you make them make them like a car or something.
Sure. I'll get right on that.
No, you make like a nice satchel. Make a satchel for her dad, and maybe you make a nice wooden pen. Make a pen like those cool pens that you make for the mom.
Well, her dad just passed away, so I'm not going to make him a gift. So thanks for bringing that up.
We'll just leave that right there.
I will make a gift, though.
You should.
I'm going to.
I make gifts for dead people, and I always wonder.
Wow.
When people,
you're going to keep digging.
What's that?
Go on. I'm asking you, what are you reading and anticipating?
No, do you go to a graveyard and like leave stuff for dead people?
And I'm
wondering who gets all the cool dead people stuff.
I don't.
When those people leave, because it's not like Jesus came down and took the bottle of beer. You know, there's some dude out there digging graves.
Of course.
That popped that beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I haven't been to do people leave bottles of beer at grave
they
sites?
Leave all kinds of things.
Yeah, I don't.
My son and I see it all the time because we do a trail run and we run by the graveyard at the top of Queen Anne. There's all kinds of cool stuff out there. Once in a while we want to go there and swipe some stuff.
Pop in there and it's a donation.
Yeah. No.
What are you
It's
reading?
like a garbage man. Like a garbage man, you kind of collect stuff.
I know there's garbage
If you're
men
working in a graveyard, you probably collect
There's
some.
got to be garbage men that pull stuff out
Somebody
of the can.
write me if you work in a graveyard and tell me what you found in the graveyard. Real quick, no update on the Brady Bros.
Really?
Haven't heard from Greg or Peter. Nothing this week.
I thought you said you had an update.
That's the update.
There's no update?
Yeah.
So what have you been watching or
The
anticipating?
update is that there's no update. Let me find it here for you real quick because I think you might like this one. Oh, okay. I suggested something the other night. I made a huge mistake. And let me pull it up here. And I feel bad about it. Have you ever suggested somebody should listen to something and then you listen to it and you try to reel it back in? I said something, I think I sent it out to you, Scotty, and Joe the other night. And I said, hey, you really got to listen to this new podcast called Buried Bones. It's a historical true crime podcast. 25,000 people follow this podcast. And so they're supposed to take some historic figure that died and there was mystery involved, and they're supposed to tell you that story.
I remember you sent it to me. I have not listened.
Don't.
Why?
It's horrible. And I sent it to you, I sent it to Scotty, I sent it to Joe, and then after that I listened to it, and then it was too late to send you guys a note and just kind of wave you off. But the next morning I sent a note. Scotty had already listened to it, and it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. So I don't know why I suggested that. I wouldn't listen to. And I have to say, the real Brady Bros, that is the worst podcast that I've ever heard. That's why I keep listening. Like,
Right.
I can't believe that people listen to it, and they do. There's like a lot of people that listen to it.
And the Brady Bunch
have
is
you
a
ever
popular
seen
show.
one of those things where it's like so bad,
yeah.
you love it?
Comes all the way back around, of course.
Yeah.
So have you heard of the Ron and Don show?
Yeah, and then at the end, Greg is now with his wife. He is
Which
selling.
one's Greg?
He was the
oldest?
He was the older brother. So in the Brady's, the Brady kids, they made an
He's the one
album.
that had a fling with Florence Henderson, right?
You're gonna have to listen to the real Brady Bros because they break.
I
that.
think I'm 99% positive that Greg
That's episode 61.
had a fling with Florence Henderson.
Yeah, they break that down. So you have to check that out. So anyway, real Brady Bros. I don't have an update on that. And then also trip wise, I think I've shared with you. I think I'm gonna take my camper down to Oregon, get my face stretched down there because
No,
you
get
said
it
your girlfriend said go get your face stretched in Oregon.
Unstretched.
I'm gonna get it unstretched in Oregon. Go to my son's camp. And then we're going to fly off somewhere this summer that I'll share with you sometime soon. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I am so hot right now.
I'm very hot as well.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Ron and Don Show. He's Ron. I'm Don. We're hot and we're out of here. Goodbye. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, how can
Go
we
to
do that?
ronadonsitdown.com. If you have a buying, selling, or investing real estate question, you can also notice that we sell the sound. So it doesn't matter if you're on the east side, if you're up north or down south, we can handle it.
Yeah. So I want to thank Matt and Grace, my son, for being our station voice. Charlie the dog, who's not here right now. He's home sitting in 65 degrees.
My
He
AC is
likes
going to
it.
have full blast right after the real estate only segment.
Yeah. Anyway, beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington. We love all you guys. Thanks for allowing us to be your real estate agents, your friends, your broadcasters. And don't forget to keep your head up and your shoulders back. And we will see you next time on YouTube. That's right. You've been listening to the Ron and Don Show all night on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
And then smile to the camera. There you go.
Hey, it's G-Force O'Neill. Thanks for listening to my dad and his boyhood friend, Mr. Ron.